we're finally getting a clear picture of what really happened in one of the most talked about love stories of our generation. Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber, and Hailey Baldwin. But the truth? It's not what people assumed, not even close. To understand how everything unraveled, we have to rewind. Imagine this, you're 25, nominated for Grammys, the face of your own beauty empire, acting in hit series, and seemingly living a dream. Then the person you've loved on and off for years suddenly asks you to marry him. For most people, that's the part where you say yes. But Selena Gomez didn't. She said no, not maybe, not later, just no. And for years, no one could quite understand why. People speculated, was it because of Hailey? Old wounds? A loss of trust? But then in 2025, Selena finally spoke up on a podcast, and her explanation stopped everyone in their tracks. It had nothing to do with jealousy, nothing to do with revenge. It was about something so much deeper. She said she was fragile at the time, not weak, just raw. She'd just gone through a kidney transplant, was battling anxiety, and trying to find her footing in therapy. She was, in her own words, learning to rebuild. And in the middle of all that, she realized something. She couldn't let someone else into her life until she'd figured out how to love herself again. That line struck a chord. I was just starting to rebuild. My health, my mind, therapy, my work. She wasn't running from love. She was protecting the space she had fought so hard to reclaim. Turning Justin down wasn't about erasing their past, it was about honoring her future. A future she finally wanted to shape for herself, because let's not forget, Justin and Selena weren't just a couple. They were the couple. From the moment she stepped off the Disney stage and he exploded onto the scene with Baby, their chemistry lit up everything. Vacations, red carpets, candid dates, fans couldn't get enough. But behind the pictures was a much more complicated story. Selena was navigating lupus, anxiety, and the stress of fame. Justin was battling his own demons, making headlines for the wrong reasons. And trying to grow up under a microscope. They truly loved each other. No one denies that. But the world they were living in, it wasn't built for soft, messy, real love. It was built for pressure. And pressure has a way of making even the most beautiful things crack. In 2017, after her transplant, Justin came back. It felt like the full circle moment fans were waiting for. Maybe they were meant to be after all, but it didn't last. Something felt different, forced. Even wrong. And then the whispers started. Some fans claimed Justin had proposed before marrying Hailey. Photos circulated. Theories exploded. It wasn't confirmed until that 2025 podcast. Selena said it plainly. Yes, he proposed, and yes, she turned him down. Not out of spite, not out of fear, but because she knew. They weren't meant to walk that road anymore. She'd changed. And she wasn't willing to shrink back into the person she had been, just to make someone else feel whole again. There's one part of the story people still argue over. Around the time Justin proposed, he was reportedly facing visa issues and pressure to secure a green card. And not long after, he married Hailey Baldwin. That timeline raised questions. Was his proposal to Selena purely about love? Or was he searching for a kind of stability? No one can answer that but him. But the whispers never stopped. And still, through all of that, Selena never once tore him down. She didn't make vague jabs. She didn't spill secrets. She just spoke. Her truth clearly and calmly, and that might be the most powerful thing of all. Because sometimes love isn't about passion or grand gestures. Sometimes it's about boundaries. Sometimes it's about walking away from the person you wanted most, because the version of you they remember no longer exists. Selena's story isn't about being bitter, it's about being better. And maybe that's why people can't stop talking about it. Because there's something haunting about two people who once loved each other deeply. Realizing that love isn't always enough, timing matters. Healing matters, and choosing yourself? That matters most of all. When Selena turned Justin down, it wasn't a rejection of him, it was a commitment to herself. She had spent so long putting other people first. This was her line in the sand. She wasn't going to build her life around someone else's needs or timelines. And whether or not Justin's proposal was completely heartfelt, Selena made it clear she couldn't say yes just because the world expected her to. You know that feeling, when everyone's watching, waiting for you to make a move you're not ready for? Whether it's a relationship, a job, a dream someone else planted in you, it takes courage to stop and say, "This isn't right for me yet," or maybe ever. Selena made that choice. And the ripple effect? It was massive. Her podcast clip went viral on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere. People resonated with it. Not because it was about celebrity gossip, but because it was real, honest. One comment summed it up perfectly. She didn't say no to him, she said yes to herself. And that message hit a generation of people who are constantly asked to settle, to please, to perform. Even Hailey Bieber, yes, Hailey liked a tweet that praised Selena's decision. Whether that was genuine or a smart PR move, no one knows. But for a brief moment, it felt like the drama had taken a breath. Like, maybe, just maybe, there was a quiet kind of respect building between them all. Selena's decision wasn't just about one relationship. It spoke to something bigger. How many women have faced that moment choosing between a love that almost fits and the self they're still becoming? It's not easy to walk away, especially when it's familiar, when it's safe, when it's what everyone else wants for you. But sometimes the hardest thing to do is the right thing. During that podcast, Selena said something else, something that keeps echoing. She said she didn't want to look back and wonder what could have happened if she'd just given herself more time, more space, more healing. That one line changed everything. Because it wasn't just about Justin. It was about becoming whole. Without needing someone else to fix her. Look at her now. Rare Beauty is thriving. Her music hits different, it's raw, it's intentional. Her acting career has depth and purpose. But it's not the success that speaks the loudest, it's the peace. She's not chasing approval. She's not begging for closure. She's living. She's building a life that's hers. That's what real power looks like. Not the flash, not the headlines, but the quiet strength of knowing who you are, even when the world keeps trying to rewrite your story. Selena didn't walk away from love. She walked towards something bigger. And maybe that's what we all need to hear right now. Have you ever been there? At the crossroads of what's expected and what's real. Have you ever felt that pressure to say yes when your heart whispers no? Selena's story is a reminder that you're allowed to wait. You're allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to say, not yet, or even never. Not because you're afraid, but because you're finally listening to yourself. She didn't say no to love. She said yes to healing. And in a world we're all rushing to prove we're okay, that might be the bravest thing anyone can do. If this story spoke to something inside you, leave a comment. Share your moment. Tell us when you chose yourself, even if it hurt. And if you're still figuring it out, that's okay. You're not behind, you're becoming. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more stories that matter, and turn on the bell, because sometimes what we need most isn't a perfect ending. It's a fresh beginning. Take care of yourself. You matter, and your story is still unfolding.